Princess Anne is in the hospital with a concussion tonight after apparently being injured by a horse while walking on her estate in Gloucestershire yesterday. We all know just how much Princess Anne loves her job and how dedicated she is to her royal duties, even being dubbed as the hardest-working royal. But it seems like all that is about to change. Moments ago, something shocking happened. Princess Anne just upped and left Buckingham Palace, and all anyone can think of is why. Could it be that the princess has finally had enough of all the drama going on inside the palace walls, or did she leave because of a more personal reason? Join us as we dive into all the royal drama. The horse riding incident this year keeps getting better and better for some people, but for the royal family, the same cannot be said. As we all know, 2024 has been a roller coaster for the royal family, especially following all the health battles and the recent tax drama surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who have moved away from the royal limelight. It just seems like there might be no end to the drama anytime soon, because now Princess Anne has come out to finally say goodbye to Buckingham Palace. However, it seems like she's not leaving the palace without letting the public in on certain secrets. Curious to find out what these secrets are? Keep watching. Back in June 2024, Princess Anne left Buckingham Palace, but not for reasons you might think. She, in fact, left because she had a horse-riding accident. On June 23rd, she was admitted to Southmead Hospital in Bristol after sustaining a concussion and minor injuries during the Trooping the Colour ceremony. A royal tradition, the Princess Royal was riding Noble, a notoriously temperamental Canadian mount. Noble had previously caused issues during the same event the year before, refusing to move forward and creating a stir. This year, the horse was equally restless, throwing its head and attempting to canter in place. Despite these challenges, Princess Anne maintained her composure, handling the jittery steed with calm, practiced ease. Dressed in full ceremonial attire, she navigated the parade route with one hand on the reins, a testament to her years of experience. Her unflappable demeanor became a highlight of the event, reaffirming her status as a seasoned equestrian. However, less than 2 weeks later, the Princess Royal's love for horses took a toll. On June 23rd, she was admitted to Southmead Hospital after suffering a minor head injury and concussion. The accident occurred while she was walking on the grounds of her Gatcombe Park estate. According to an official statement, she was expected to make a full recovery, but further details about the incident were scarce. Reports suggested that the injury might have been caused by an impact with a horse's head or legs. By June 28th, Princess Anne had been discharged from the hospital and was recuperating at her Gloucestershire home. Her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, expressed gratitude to the hospital staff, saying, "I would like to extend my warmest thanks to the team at Southmead Hospital for their care, expertise, and kindness during my wife's short stay." He also shared updates on her progress, assuring the public that she was recovering steadily, but emphasizing that her return to royal duties would depend on medical clearance. The accident meant that Princess Anne had to cancel several engagements. On June 25th, she missed a state banquet at Buckingham Palace held in honor of Emperor Naruhito and Empress Misako of Japan. She was also advised not to travel to Canada, where she had planned to attend a series of events. A palace spokesperson apologized for the inconvenience caused by the cancellations, noting that the Princess Royal deeply regretted disappointing those affected. The accident also led to temporary memory loss, according to the Telegraph. While this was concerning, it was deemed a minor setback in her overall recovery. Sir Timothy Lawrence reassured well-wishers outside the hospital, stating she's fine, slow but sure. His words were met with relief and support from the public, who admired Princess Anne's resilience and dedication. Princess Anne's absence from royal duties marked a rare pause in a career known for its relentless pace. Frequently described as the hardest-working member of the royal family, she completed 457 engagements in 2023 alone. Her commitment to her role has long been admired, with many noting her ability to handle multiple responsibilities with grace. As Queen Elizabeth's former press spokesman, Dickie Arbiter, once remarked, she just gets on with it, often carrying out multiple engagements in one day. Princess Anne's love for horses and equestrian pursuits is well documented. She received the Gatcombe Park estate as a wedding gift from Queen Elizabeth upon her first marriage to Captain Mark Phillips in 1976, and the Festival of British Eventing was held there for 40 years. A trailblazer in her own right, Princess Anne became the first member of the British royal family to compete in the Olympics when she represented Team Great Britain in 1976. Her passion for horses has remained a defining aspect of her life, evident in her continued participation in events like Trooping the Colour. However, her journey with horses has not been without its challenges. Princess Anne's love for horse riding has often come with the risks inherent in such a high adrenaline pursuit. The accident back in June was not Princess Anne's first rodeo when it comes to horses and head injuries. As the first member of the royal family to compete for her country at the Olympics, Princess Anne faced a harrowing moment in 1976 when her horse, Goodwill, fell during a jumping event. The fall brought the princess down as well, and though she quickly remounted, she later confessed to having no memory of the remainder of her round after suffering a concussion and a cracked vertebra. 3 years earlier, the princess was forced to withdraw from the European Equestrian Championships after another fall with Goodwill at a difficult double fence in the cross-country section. These were not isolated incidents. Over the years, the Princess Royal has faced numerous horse-related injuries, including a broken finger as a young girl and a leg injury that left her using a walking stick after being kicked by one of her steeds nearly a decade ago. Despite these setbacks, every time the 74-year-old princess recovers and gets back in the saddle without fail. But she's not the only royal who rides. Her daughter, Zara Tindall, a professional equestrian who also rides for Great Britain, spoke about the family's deep connection to horses in an interview last year. "Our horses are in our family," she said. "There's always horse conversation going on. For Princess Anne, not remounting has never been an option." This unyielding passion for riding is perhaps unsurprising for someone who began competing on horseback at the age of 11 and spent more than half a decade as part of the British eventing team. The love of riding runs deep within the royal family. Even Anne's elder brother, King Charles, started riding at 4 and was an avid polo player from his teens until his 50. Her younger brothers, Princes Andrew and Edward, are equally at home in the saddle, with Prince Edward being a regular in Windsor Great Park. The younger generation carries on the tradition. Lady Louise, Edward's daughter, followed in the Duke of Edinburgh's footsteps, making her competitive carriage driving debut at 17. Meanwhile, Princes William and Harry share their aunt's comfort on horseback, excelling on the polo field. Of course, the late Queen, who began riding at age 3, remained devoted to the sport until just weeks before her passing at 96. Yet, despite their evident skill, riding remains one of the world's most dangerous sports. It carries a higher risk than motorcycling or skiing, and is the leading cause of sports-related traumatic brain injuries. In 2023, 3 riders were killed and 94 were injured on Britain's roads. Shockingly, 81% of equestrians will face injuries at some point in their careers. The royal family accounts for more than a few of those injuries. King Charles has fractured his shoulder during a fox hunt, broken his arm in a polo match, and blames his chronic back pain on numerous falls. The Queen Mother broke her collarbone at 90 after a riding accident, while the late Queen herself broke her wrist at 67 when her horse tripped at Sandringham. Prince Philip wasn't spared either. A carriage driving accident in 2010 left him with back injuries. Other royals have faced similar fates. Zara Tindall has broken her collarbone, Lady Louise her arm, and the Duchess of Edinburgh a rib fall while riding. Still, the royal family's resilience shines through every time they remount, driven by an unshakable bond with their horses. This connection to their steeds is one that goes beyond mere hobby. It's a deep-seated tradition that speaks to the royal family's strength, both physical and mental. First of all, it gets under your skin, says Richard Wood, lifelong rider and former riding master of the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment, where Princess Anne is colonel-in-chief. Riding, he explains, is one of the few activities where royals can experience freedom. They don't have to keep looking over their shoulder, and at the same time they can have a gallop and get things out of their system. It's an adrenaline kick. Riding provides an emotional release that other activities simply cannot match, giving them a rare chance to break away from their usual duties and responsibilities. Horses also offer companionship that cars or sports never could. Winston Churchill famously said, "There's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a man." For Princess Anne there was Doublet, the thoroughbred gelding on which she won gold at Burghley at just 21. For King Charles there was Drizzle, his beloved polo pony, and for the late Queen, a legion of prized steeds bred by her own hand. These horses weren't just animals. They were family members, companions, and in many ways friends who offered an emotional bond that transcended the ordinary. When tragedy strikes, the royals' love for their horses is laid bare. In 1974, Princess Anne's horse Doublet suffered a fatal leg injury while she was riding in Windsor Park. She was reportedly inconsolable. Decades later, Drizzle, who had been passed to Princes William and Harry, collapsed and died during a charity polo match, leaving Harry visibly emotional. It is proof of the deep emotional connection that exists between the royals and their horses that such losses are not easily forgotten. With each loss marking a profound moment in their lives, even in moments of celebration, the royals' connection to their horses is clear. King Charles was seen wiping away tears when his horse Desert Hero triumphed at Royal Ascot last year. Similarly, the late Queen's favorite pony, Emma, stood in quiet tribute as her coffin passed during her funeral, a headscarf draped over her saddle. These small but significant moments show the strong emotional ties that the royal family has with their steeds. Their horses are not just a part of their public image. They are deeply ingrained in their personal lives and histories. Every horse we have, emphasizes Richard Wood, is unique. They have a mind of their own, and the royals have an empathy with them. That empathy and shared resilience ensure that, even after the most painful of injuries, the royal family always finds its way back to the saddle. The royal family's ability to overcome adversity, whether it be an injury or a loss, is a reflection of the bond they share with their horses and the resilience that defines their character. For the royals, remounting after a fall is not simply about physical recovery. It's about preserving a tradition, a family legacy, and a profound love for a sport that has become a defining part of their lives. For Princess Anne, her latest injury is no exception. No matter the doctor's advice, it likely won't be long before she's riding again. "We good chuckles," she says. The equine world doesn't listen to a doctor. In fact, they know better than to ask. Let's hope the Princess Royal's recovery is as swift and steadfast as her love for riding. Whether in victory or tragedy, their connection remains an integral part of the royal family's identity, and as they continue to saddle up, they show the world the true meaning of passion, perseverance, and love for the equine world. While Princess Anne's dedication to horses is undeniably a significant part of her life, her commitment to her royal duties has been just as remarkable. Princess Anne has long been celebrated for her sharp wit and relentless work ethic. Her unique role within the royal family, standing both as a prominent supporter and at times on the sidelines, has been admirably executed by the Princess Royal throughout her life. While not destined to become queen, Anne has never shied away from royal responsibilities. The passing of Queen Elizabeth Roman II was a terrible loss, both publicly and privately, for the British monarchy. As members of the royal family grieved, they also had to step into new roles, inheriting new titles and taking on vast responsibilities. King Charles's position, however, was clear from birth. He was to inherit the throne. Anne's role, however, has always been less defined. But the period following the Queen's passing has seen the Princess Royal carve out a clear, consistent, and indispensable role for herself. Her role has recently been tested and proven during concerns about King Charles's prostate issues. Now, with his cancer diagnosis, Anne was called upon in two directions: to support her brother personally and to help lead the royal family publicly. Former BBC royal correspondent Wesley Kerr told Tatler that Princess Anne has proven herself to be someone who can be relied on for complete discretion and unconditional love. According to Kerr, Anne has a unique understanding of who and what has shaped Charles and a real desire for him to succeed. This was symbolically represented during her role at her brother's coronation, where she attended as gold stick-in-waiting, considered a great honor. This role is essentially that of a ceremonial bodyguard to the incoming sovereign. In carrying out this role, the Princess Royal symbolized her ability to protect and support Charles through challenging times. As Charles faces one of the greatest challenges of his life, his confidence in his sister will feel more important than ever. Buckingham Palace has released the standard stiff upper lip messages, stating that the king remains wholly positive and looks forward to returning to full public duties soon. However, it's undeniable that a chapter has closed for the royal family as it faces yet another loss. This time, it's the threat to the health of a beloved and iconic figure.